Hello guys, welcome back to Dota to Go. In today's video, we'll be talking about the list of item changes the 7.20 update has brought us. However, before I start today's video though, I'd like to ask you guys to join me in a moment of silence in honor of our beloved Ring of Aquila, who's hopefully now at a better place, together with Poorman's Shield and Iron Talon. Rest in peace. On the bright side, we do have 5 new items added into the game, with 2 of them being a slight variation of the item Sanj and Yasha. We have namely the Yasha and Kaya, and the Kaya and Sanj. Now, besides these, we have 3 completely new items, with the first one being a ring called the Ring of Tarask, which comes at 700 gold and provides you with 150 health and 3.75 HP regeneration. This item is basically just a compromise of the items Vitality Booster and Ring of Health. Do take note though, this item will be used in the making of Heart of Tarask, which now requires a Reaver, Vitality Booster, a Ring of Tarask, instead of another Vitality Booster, and lastly, a 400 gold recipe. Now, as you can see here, there's also this new item known as the Holy Locket, which also requires a Ring of Tarask. This item comes at 2650 and it adds 200 health, 4 HP regen, 3 mana regen, and 15% magic resistance. It also comes with a passive called Holy Blessing, which amplifies heals and regeneration you provide by 25%. So, let's say I have a mech and the item Holy Locket. In theory, the heal provided by my mech should now be increased by 25%, and as we can see, that is true. Moving on, we also have a new item known as the Crown, which comes at 450 gold and adds +4 to each attribute. Now, with the introduction of this new item, the following items, Bracer, Null Talisman, and Wraveband, can no longer be upgraded into other items. That means items such as the Veil of Discord, Dagon, and Rod of Atos, which previously required Null Talismans and Bracers, now requires Crown instead. This is a pretty important change, and you should definitely take note of this. Phase Boots. Phase Boots has been reworked to no longer have an active. It now passively gives you movement speed bonus, collision phasing, and turn rate anytime you issue an attack onto a target within a range of 900. However, this will still kick in even if you issue the order out of the range, and then walk in, just like Phantom Lancer's Phantom Rush. This buff has no cooldown, and it lingers for 0.5 seconds. Instead of a Boots of Speed and 2 Blades of Attack, Phase Boots now requires Boots of Speed, Chainmail, and Gloves of Haste. Therefore, instead of providing damage, it now gives you +25 attack speed and +5 armor. Power Threads. Instead of a Gloves of Haste, we now need Blades of Attack to make a Power Threads. Hence, instead of 25 attack speed, it now gives +16 damage. Another key change we got among boots will be for Tranquil Boots. The recipe remains the same, but the thing is, Tranquil Boots now no longer gets disabled by attacking creeps. This makes it a much better item for not just the laning phase, but it will also allow a lot of heroes to start jungling at a much earlier stage of the game. Solar Crest. Solar Crest has been reworked in both the recipe and active ability. It now still requires a medallion, which by the way has not been touched this patch, an ultimate orb, a windlace, and a 300 gold recipe. Naturally, it now provides +12 armor, +10 all stats, 6% movement speed, and 1.5 mana regen. The active can still be casted on both your teammates and enemies, but besides just adding or reducing the armor, it also adds or reduces the movement speed by 10% and attack speed by 70%. Now, for all 3 weapons, Sanj, Yasha, and Kaya, the recipe cost has been reduced from 700 to 600. However, for Sanj though, besides the recipe cost change, the main effect is now gone. It now provides a 12% status resistance, so naturally, for Sanj and Yasha, the status resistance is carried over and you get +16% status resistance. Bloodstone. You can no longer deny yourself with a Bloodstone. Instead, it now comes with a new active known as Blood Pact. Upon using it, it converts 60% of your current mana to health in the form of regeneration over a time period of 2 seconds. It still provides you with the same stats as above the mana regeneration. It now passively doubles your mana regeneration, and each charge provides 0.3 health and mana regen. This is definitely above the Bloodstone. However, it no longer reduces respawn time, but it does start with 14 charges instead of 12. You still gain a charge with every kill, but upon death, you always lose 3 charges. Aeon Disc now provides you with 300 health and mana instead of 250. The passive status resistance has been removed, but the 50% status resistance provided in the passive Combo Breaker remains the same. Satanic. Now, the bonus damage produced by Satanic has been reduced from 50 to 25. However, it now provides you with a 30% passive status resistance, and the active still works fine the same good old way. Heart of Tarrasque. As we talked about before, it now requires the new item Ring of Tarrasque, a Vitality Booster, Reaver, and a 400 gold recipe. Previously, it required 2 Vitality Boosters and a Reaver. It still comes with the same stats, plus 45 strength, plus 400 health, but on top of that, we now have a 50% health regen amplification. And besides that, the out of combat regen has been reduced from 7% to 5%. Now Talisman, Wraveband, and Bracer. Besides the fact that these items can no longer be upgraded into any other items, they now come at the cost of 520, since the recipe cost has been increased from 165 to 220. Now, a key change here is that a Null Talisman now provides you with a 3% spell amplification, whereas a Wraveband provides you with a plus 6 attack speed. Lastly, a Bracer provides you with a plus 6% magic resistance. These changes make these items really good right now, especially for the early and mid game. All of these for just 520 gold, that's really cost effective. That will be it for the item changes I found particularly interesting and important, guys. There are a couple more of them as you can see here, but they're just some tweaks to the numbers like changes to recipe costs, or for example, mana restore from Arcane Boost has been increased from 135 to 160, so I won't go through all of this. Once again, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and see you guys in the next Dota to Go video.